All righty. Hello, hello. Welcome to today's session of Embodied Fertility Awareness. Let's change that to just me. Okay. So today we're going to be talking about your digestive system and gut health. But before we jump into all that, I wanted to update you on what's coming up. We've got this class, Embodied Fertility Awareness. I'm shifting it away from every 2 weeks. Now it's going to be happening every month, but it's totally donation-based, and each time the topic is different. The new course, The Opening, is coming soon. That will be available in March. Really exciting if you're wanting to learn more about fertility awareness and charting your cycles and avoiding pregnancy naturally. We have monthly charting circles every month. This month it's going to be next week on the 16th. And then if you want to work one-on-one with me, that is available all year round. This is a donation-based event. If you would like to send a donation, here's the information on where you can do that. If you're not donating today, no problem. You're always welcome to support me with liking, commenting, and sharing my social media content. And then I am not a doctor. I am a holistic reproductive health practitioner, fertility awareness educator, a yoga teacher, an enthusiast of many things, but I am not a trained physician and I am not providing medical advice here. Cool. So we're going to start by watching a video and practicing together this abdominal massage to help stimulate digestion and also just to get our hands on our body, providing loving touch to ground ourselves into the moment, into the body. So if you have any lotion or coconut oil or anything nearby that you can use to create a little extra slick. I was going to make a joke about cervical mucus, but it's not the time for that. You can grab your lotion and either find a comfortable seat or lay back down. If you're watching the recording, you're welcome to pause this. And I'll pull up the video.
You're going to take your lotion or oil and just warm it up in your hands to melt. My coconut oil was in the fridge, so it's hardened. So I just want it to be to a consistency that I can start to rub it in. And you're just going to start to put the oil or lotion generously all throughout your abdomen. And the amount of pressure that you use really is personal preference. So obviously you don't want it to be painful or discomfort. And so you're just going to start working the tissue, just warming it up. Working your abdomen is one of the quickest ways to tap into your parasympathetic nervous system, which is your rest and digest nervous system. So this is a beautiful way to wind down, beautiful thing to do right before you go to bed. So just warming up the tissues. And if you're someone who suffers maybe a little bit more from being backed up, you want to make sure that you start to do your circles in the direction of the digestive tract. On the other side, if you're someone who suffers from a little bit more kind of diarrhea or runny stool, you might then want to go in the opposite direction. So kind of catering this to your personal needs. So again, just warming up the tissue. You can just work your hands back and forth, one hand below the belly button, one above. And then you're going to start to just work the bottom piece here of your ascending colon. So the first part of your large intestine. And you want to get nice and low below this hip bone here. There's a little pocket there on the bottom of the ascending colon. That's just below the valve from the small intestine to the large intestine. So sometimes food can get backed up here and stagnant. So you really want to start nice and low to try and move that along. And then just gently working your way all the way up from your right hip to your right rib cage. And then slowly across. And you could spend as much or as little time in each of these positions as possible. Gently kind of feeling around, and most importantly, keeping a nice slow breath. You can then start to work down the descending colon. And it feels quite nice. And when you pair this with some nice deep breaths, it's super relaxing, very soothing. And you're going to find out a lot about your own digestive system, how it feels, where you might be backed up. And then you can continue back into your large circles. And feel free to go and revisit any part that felt a little stuck or tender, just working through that. Again, this is a beautiful way to stimulate digestion. It's a beautiful way to down-regulate the nervous system. Awesome practice to get in the habit of doing before you go to bed. And again, one of my favorite relaxation self-care tools. You can again then go back.
So we'll be here for just another minute, making circles, taking some deep breaths. And slowly begin to bring your hands down. And just send some deep breaths to your belly. Gently, when you feel ready, you can begin to blink your eyes open if they've closed. And if there's any cleanup that you need to do, if you're all lotioned up, please do that. We'll get started in just a moment here. And if this tapped you into your parasympathetic so much that you want to fall asleep, maybe you stand up, you do a little bit of shaking your body, a little bit of movement, just invigorating the body back. But if you're feeling grounded and aware, it's a great place to be. So when I talk about the digestive system, we're talking about all the little stops along the way, from where food enters your mouth and all the way through until it exits the body. We're going to be talking about primarily the digestive system and the gut microbiome. The gut microbiome is a part of the digestive system that I think is fascinating and that we can always learn more about. We're learning a lot about it right now. So a lot of cool research is coming out. I'm excited to share stuff with you. So this will be the last video that we watch today, but I did like how they framed it and the research that they presented. So I'm gonna watch this 2-minute video, 3-minute video.
Research shows that the gut microbiome affects a lot of how we experience our daily lives. Emotions, weight, brain functioning, even our food choices. But how does it work? The gut microbiome is a collection of trillions of microbes, or microscopic organisms. These microbes, like bacteria and fungi, live in your digestive tract, mostly in your large intestine. Digestion is just your body taking raw materials, food, and turning it into something it can use.
Nice crust.
Digestion makes glucose, which runs your brain and muscles. It also enables your body's messengers like hormones and neurotransmitters. Your digestive system is a factory for turning food into fuel, and your microbes are its workers. And what you get out of it depends a lot on the quality of what you put into it. Gut microbes have their own genes, which affect the way your human genes act. There are about 20 to 25,000 different human genes that make up your body. Sounds like a lot, but there are millions of different microbe genes inside of you that influence how your human genes act. In some studies, the microbiomes of healthy mice were transplanted into stressed mice. The stressed mice then showed fewer anxiety symptoms. Fruit flies with particular bacterial species in their microbiomes ate more protein. When researchers changed the flies' microbiomes, the flies ate more sugar. In one study, researchers found that many elite athletes have a group of bacteria that helps break down lactate and could help performance and recovery. When these bacteria were transplanted into mice, the mice's treadmill performance increased. And this is all great news because you can't change your genes, but you can change your microbiome for the better. And one of the quickest ways to do that is through food. There are immeasurable other factors that influence your gut microbiome: where you live, sleep, exercise, stress. But what your body makes and what kind of microbes your gut has depend a lot on the food you eat. You can change your microbiome and potentially your daily experiences and long-term health through food. Recent technology makes it possible to test your gut microbiome at home.
That's where we'll pause that. Beautiful. So the main takeaway from that video is that the gut microbiome has a lot of impact on your body. I believe it's something like 90% of your serotonin is produced in the gut as well. So like that feel-good molecule, it's not actually produced in your brain. So a lot of times, low mood, depression-related symptoms can be traced back to the gut. I think that the gut is incredibly important when we're talking about fertility, not only because it impacts the entire body, but because it is something that we can shift and improve with simple changes. It's something that, as we talk about the tips and different things that you can do to improve your gut health, a lot of it just makes sense. It's pretty easeful and it can be a world of difference. It comes up a lot when I'm dealing with clients who have some sort of autoimmunity, who are coming off of hormonal birth control, who are having hormone imbalances, infertility. It's pretty much, I work on gut health with all of my clients, so it's good stuff. So we're going to start with digestion. How do I get me out of the way? So digestion starts before you even put food into your mouth. Your senses, predominantly your smell, your sight, activate the digestive process. It gets the chemicals starting to be produced, the enzymes in your saliva and the stomach acid in your stomach. Cooking your food is a great way to prepare your body for digestion because you have ample time where your senses are involved and for your body to prepare. If you're not cooking your food, there are other ways to stimulate your body's digestive process, like slowing down, taking a few deep breaths, having some form of prayer, splashing some cold water on your face before a meal. All these can help you slow down. They can activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest, and preparing your body to fully receive food. Your nervous system, especially the vagus nerve, is very involved in healthy digestion. So this is the vagus nerve over here. It's the wandering nerve that branches all the way from your brain down through the digestive system and touches base with pretty much all of your vital organs. So it goes all the way through the digestive system. It's a highway, so it sends information both up and down. So the brain is saying, hey, how are the vital organs doing? How is the digestive system doing? And then the organs will say, we're doing good. And so they're constantly communicating. It helps to keep anxiety and depression at bay. It opposes your sympathetic response to stress. It can control your throat muscles to send food and air down the right tubes. Most of us have had an experience where it didn't go down the right tube and then you're choking a little bit. The vagus nerve regulates insulin secretion and glucose homeostasis in the liver, so that hormone production. It can suppress inflammation. It's responsible for speech, muscle movements, your gag reflex, swallowing, and coughing. Lowers blood pressure in the case of illness or emotional stress, decreases heart rate and vascular tone. Controls digestion and is responsible for your full feeling. Increases the gastric juices, gut motility, stomach acidity, and it can cause fainting when overstimulating, leading to a temporary loss of consciousness or sometimes of bladder control. So the vagus nerve is so key to so many things. And so there's a lot of things that you can do to improve your vagal tone or to strengthen your vagus nerve. So yoga has a lot of things built into it, the practice of yoga, especially if you're practicing mantra or anything spoken or certain breath techniques, really beneficial. Singing, humming, gargling, like going to get some water, going, oh, and spitting it out. That gargling is very helpful. These all help to improve vagal tone. So we're in the mouth. The mouth is important because we have more control in the digestive process earlier on than later. We have more control of food when it's in our mouth rather than in the small intestine. So there's two types of digestion that we're going to be talking about. One of them is mechanical and the other one is chemical. So mechanical is chewing. It's physically breaking down the food. Chemical digestion is like the saliva, the digestive enzymes, the chemicals that your body is producing to help you digest. And then once you've chewed your food, it goes down the esophagus, this part of your throat. And ideally, this is just a slide, a transport. We're not supposed to be adding in a lot of stuff in the esophagus. And then it gets its way to the stomach. So in the stomach, we have both mechanical and chemical digestion happening. So there's the mechanical, the stomach will actually be using muscle contraction to help digestion. And then we're releasing stomach acid. So stomach acid is very important in helping us actually break down our food. So the gastric juice contains hydrochloric acid. It activates pepsinogen, converting it to pepsin that can help you actually digest proteins. So if you're interested in the chemical side of what's going on, there's a lot of cool stuff. And then just a side note, if you've ever looked at a probiotic bottle and it says like 8 billion probiotics, have you ever thought like, why am I taking 8 billion probiotics? That feels like overkill. The stomach acid is very strong and it kills off a great majority of the probiotics that you eat. This is purposeful. It's part of your body. You want stomach acid. So we take probiotics in a very, very high dose. If you're someone who's supplementing with probiotic supplements, we take it in a very, very high dose, knowing that they won't all make it. Cool. We'll talk more about probiotics later. So you come through the mouth, the esophagus, into the stomach, and now we're in between the stomach and the small intestine. So this is where the pancreas is. It's an organ of the digestive system as well as the endocrine system. So it's also creating hormones. The pancreas creates enzymes that help you digest food, especially protein. The pancreatic juices contain enzymes that become activated once they reach the duodenum. Just right over here, the duodenum is the first part of the small intestine. Other enzymes produced by the pancreas include amylase, which, fun fact, is what like word corrections are always trying to change my name to. Like, no, it's analase, not amylase. Amylase is used to break down carbohydrates, and lipase is used to break down fats. It also makes sodium bicarbonate, baking soda, basically, that helps neutralize stomach acid. So we want stomach acid, but we also have a part of our body that helps to neutralize it when needed. So when I say that the pancreas is also an endocrine gland, this is where insulin is created, which is so key to your blood sugar and controlling those levels. We want to talk about the duodenum. Let's talk about the duodenum just because it's a fun name. So the duodenum is that first part of the small intestine. It's located right between the stomach and the middle part of the small intestine, or the, I don't know how to say that, jejunum. After foods will mix with the stomach acid, they move into the duodenum where they mix with bile from the gallbladder and digestive juices from the pancreas. So this is where everything's getting real juicy. So the small intestine carries out most of the digestive process, absorbing all the nutrients that you get from food into your bloodstream. The walls of the small intestine make digestive juices or enzymes that work together with the enzymes from your liver and your pancreas to do this, to digest. The absorptive surface of the small intestine is actually about 250 square meters, almost 2,700 square feet. So it's the size of a tennis court, which is huge. Within you, we're not even talking about the large intestine. We're talking about just the small intestine, this inner part. If you were to take it out and stretch it out and open it, it would be the size of a tennis court. It's crazy big. There's a lot happening in there. So that leads us from the small intestine into the large intestine. So going around it, you think back to that abdominal massage that we did, we're tracing through these intestines. So your large intestine is about 5 feet or 1.5 meters long. The large intestine is much broader, so it's thicker than the small intestine, and it takes a much straighter path through your belly or through the abdomen. The purpose of the large intestine is to absorb water and salts from the material that has not yet been digested and get rid of any waste products left over. By the time food mixes with the digestive juices reaching your large intestine, most of the digestion absorption has already taken place. So we're getting ready to let go, is what's going on in the large intestine. What's left at this point is mainly fiber, like plant matter, which takes a long time to digest, dead cells shed from the lining of your intestines, salt, bile pigments, which are what gives stool or the digestive matter its color, and water. In the large intestine, bacteria feeds on this mixture. These are also helpful to produce vitamins that are absorbed into your blood, and they help you digest fiber. So lots going on in the large intestine. And so that is the digestive tract. We started in the mouth, food moved down the tube of our esophagus, in through the stomach where it's mixing with things from the pancreas and the liver and the gallbladder, and then moving into the small intestine, taking all these windy little roads, and then going up through the large intestine until it's released out from the rectum and anus. Woohoo! So, improving your digestion. If you are someone who is experiencing difficulty with digestion, if you get pain after eating, if you are either constipated or if you are having a lot of diarrhea, if you have various discomfort, gas, sometimes acne can be a form of maldigestion or malabsorption. Here are some tips. So chew your food well, take your time. My nutritionist always says chew to an applesauce consistency, which depending on what you're eating can take quite a bit of time. But anything that you can do to really support your body in that quest of breaking down food is going to save energy down the line. The other tip is to decrease inflammation. So there's so many ways to decrease inflammation. There's so many ways to get inflamed, but we're talking about decreasing stress. I often will encourage people to increase consumption of ginger and turmeric, both of which stimulate the digestive system and can decrease inflammation. If there's foods that you believe are inflammatory on your body, fried foods, maybe lowering those consumptions can be helpful. I really don't come from a background where I think any food is bad. It's just about finding what foods work best in your body and what's actually going to leave you feeling nourished and supported. And so I put fried food there because most people don't feel amazing after eating fried food, but it's not a hard and fast rule. If there's a certain food that you think may be causing inflammation, if you're like, hey, I just don't feel good whenever I eat pasta, I want to try eliminating gluten for a little bit or dairy, playing an elimination diet where you avoid that food for 4 to 6 weeks and then you add it back in after to see if you have a reaction can be helpful. Yeah, because then your body gets used to functioning without it. And so if you were to add it back in and have a reaction, it would be more severe than if you had done it when you were more regularly eating it. So elimination diets can be a fun tool to use when you're experimenting for what works best in your body. Make sure that you're drinking enough water throughout the day so that your body can really be producing what it needs to produce. But I don't recommend drinking a lot of water while you're actively eating. That can, water down the chemical process. And from an Ayurvedic perspective, from the yoga perspective, you want your digestive fire really strong when you're eating, and water puts out the fire. So a little warm tea or a small amount of water, but maybe not downing a whole bunch of water as you are currently eating. And then an elimination tip, this thing has changed my life. It's called the Squatty Potty. That's one brand's name. There's off-brand ones that work just as well. Or you can literally get anything to just lift your feet. What this does is it changes the shift of your little back of your intestines, of the rectum. And like if you think about a lot of cultures that go to the bathroom while they're actually squatting on the ground, this is a better alignment for your body. It's more supportive of that digestive and letting go process. So if you get one of these, you just put it in front of your toilet, or you get anything that you can put your feet up on, give it a try, see if it changes anything. Most people notice that there's less straining going on, which is very helpful if you're trying to prevent, like, say, hemorrhoids or just discomfort in general. I swear by the Squatty Potty. I think it's amazing. Wait. Going to the bathroom is really important. I should have put the Bristol stool scale in here, but you can look that up if you're interested. It's a scale of 1 to 8 for different poop consistencies, from like little balls to like super runny and everything in between. But you need to be having bowel movements pretty often for your hormone health. I would say at least once a day. That is the most supportive for your body to actually let go of the estrogen that it needs to let go of. If you're not having bowel movements every day and you're having issues with your menstrual cycle, let's chat. Let's add in more fiber. Let's get you a Squatty Potty. Let's see what happens. Bowel movements are very important for your health. So, I've been seeing a big increase in people coming to me with autoimmune conditions, such as Hashimoto's, Graves', which are both thyroid autoimmune disorders, leaky gut, irritable bowel disease or irritable bowel syndrome even, type 1 diabetes, celiac, and more. And what we're seeing is that these autoimmune diseases are becoming more common. And so I grabbed a little abstract from this article and we'll read it. So with the rising prevalence of autoimmune diseases, the role of the environment, specifically the gut microbiota, in disease development has grown to be a major area of study. Recent advances show a relationship and possible cause and effect between the gut microbiota and the initial or exacerbation of autoimmune diseases. Furthermore, microbial dysbiosis and leaky gut are frequent phenomena in both human autoimmune diseases and marine autoimmune models. This review will focus on, but we're seeing more and more how important the health of your gut is to your full body's functioning. If there's issues in the gut, it's going to be causing other issues. It can cause your body to, and so if the other side of that coin too, If you're someone who has an autoimmune disorder, have you addressed gut health? You should. It can be very helpful in working with autoimmunity. Now we talk about the menstrual cycle. I'll move this down so we can see the pretty picture. So autoimmune issues will impact your cycles, especially those involving your endocrine organs such as thyroid and pancreas. Your gut determines if your body will be able to absorb the nutrients in your food. You might be eating all the right things, but are you actually getting the benefits? We need certain vitamins and minerals for our cycles to be robust and healthy. And digestive issues can cause inflammation and stress in the body, which can cause or exacerbate menstrual dis-ease. I want to go back to this idea of you're eating all the right things. There's a lot of conflicting information about what is healthy and what is not. But just like with the menstrual cycle, I want to really emphasize this idea that your body is unique and that that's how it's designed to be. So there's going to be foods that work for you that don't work for other people, and vice versa. You may see, someone close to you eating certain foods that would cause a reaction in you, or even they just don't leave you feeling good. There's going to be different parts in your cycle where different foods are more supportive. When you're bleeding, you want more grounded, slow cooked, warming foods. And then when you move into the follicular and ovulatory phases, maybe your body does better with raw vegetables like a salad, things that take a little more energy to process, break down, and absorb. So you'll notice changes throughout your life, throughout your cycle, and just honoring your body's needs. Food is such a touchy subject, especially with women, especially as we're all trying our best. And it's really not as clear cut as like, I'm healthy or I'm not. Establishing health in your body is an ever growing, continuing journey, finding what really supports you and looking at your relationship with food from time to time. Food can be one of our greatest health boosting things. It can also be triggering and challenging on many levels. So I don't mean to make light of it in any way. So process of figuring out what works for your body here and now. Let's take a breath into that. Bring the eyes down or close your eyes, whichever one feels better, and see if there's anything just coming up for you, any felt sensations in your body. You're finding any sensation in your body, maybe bring in some light movement or send breath to that area. And if there's not sensation, just continue to breathe. And you can also incorporate some small movements into your body if you'd like. Take a slow inhale through your nose. We'll briefly pause at the top. And open your lips, let that breath go. And when you feel ready, you can begin to blink your eyes back open. You are watching the recording and you want more time to feel, pause. So we talked about some digestion tips, chewing your food really well, avoiding foods that don't make you feel good, having daily bowel movements. Now we're going to talk about gut health specific tips. So there are lots of diverse foods. One of the ways that you can support your gut health is by eating diverse foods, getting a really colorful plate, eating different things because different foods have different vitamins. If you suspect that a specific food is causing inflammation, you can try an elimination diet. You can consider taking a high quality digestive enzyme with your meals. This helps. You can do this like slightly before you start eating. There are so many digestive enzymes on the market. I like this one from Pure Encapsulations, this digestive enzyme ultra. That's what works for my body. But I've also used the like $7 one from Whole Foods. And that one was also good. So I don't have the exact answer for which one is the best, but trying some out, seeing if they change how you feel during or after a meal. Eating probiotic foods, we've got kimchi, we've got sauerkraut. There's a type of tea called pu'er that is fermented and really tasty. These can all be very supportive. You can also take a probiotic supplement. If you're looking for a probiotic supplement, like I said before when we were talking about the stomach, you want one with a lot of probiotics, knowing that a lot of them will not make it through the stomach acid. There's lots of different brands. There's some that are advertised just to women. There's some that are advertised for vaginal health. And those ones can be good. I think that they mostly just have a lot of lactobacillus acidophilus. But there's a lot of different probiotic strains, and different people will do better with different strains. So I recommend taking some time, adding in a probiotic, seeing if it changes anything. Mood, sleep, anxiety. Give it like 30 days to see if you like a specific one. Unless you start noticing, more gas or more discomfort, then that means that one's not the one for you. I can recommend some specific brands if y'all would like. Yeah, probiotics are cool. And then decreasing stress. So really when we're trying to increase our digestive health, our gut health, we want our body's available energy to be used towards digestion. When we're better able to digest our food, when our body is in a state of calm, when our parasympathetic nervous system is activated, that rest and digest. If we're still in our sympathetic nervous system, that like fight or flight, we don't have as much energy to be digesting. So that's why slowing down can be really helpful. And then just decreasing stress in general, because your body is digesting and moving things through even when you're not eating. It's the time in between eating too that is important. So shifting slightly into a more yogic lens. So digestion is ruled by your third chakra, the chakras being these major energetic centers of your body. This one's called the Manipura or the solar plexus. It's located just a few inches above your belly button. So it's an energetic space associated with the color yellow. It's also your personal power, your ego, your digestion, your body's ability to detoxify. And so we can stimulate this chakra with, some deep core work, like planks, activating that transverse abdominis, by strengthening vagal tone, engaging in activities that are supportive for your nervous system. So that vagal tone coming back to mantra or humming or gargling or singing, slowing down before your meals with a few deep breaths, prayer in yoga. When I lived in my ashram, there was always a prayer before we ate. And then yoga postures that involve twists can be very supportive. Any type of twist, just giving a little hug to the digestive system. Questions, reflections, thoughts you'd like to share. If you're watching the recording, here are the ways to get in contact me. I'll pause for a moment, but if I don't hear anything, I'll assume there are no questions. Cool. So that brings us to our integration practice. We'll do some spinal twisting and some Bhramari pranayama. So how do I want to do this? You can come to a seat or you can stand. I'm going to stand to the end of my chair. You'll want to have space around you. So if you're on a chair like me, move accordingly. I'm scooting to the edge of my seat. So we're going to inhale, reach your hands up. Exhale, twist your body to the right. I'm mirroring a lot today. I don't know which one is my right. That's my left. Right. One hand can come behind you. Maybe one hand crosses the body, like this woman in the photo. If your body allows, bring your gaze back behind you. Just involving your neck in the twist. Take one big inhale and a big exhale. Inhale, unwind, reach your hands back up. Exhale, twist in the other direction. The twist here, the energy is coming from your core. We're not using arms to yank or pull. And maybe your gaze comes behind you once again. Inhale, unwind, reach your hands up. Exhale, twist right. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, twist left. Inhale, unwind. One more time in each direction. Exhale, twist right. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, twist left. Inhale, unwind, reaching your hands up, spread your fingers wide. And exhale, let your hands come down. Allow your gaze to come down or your eyes to close. For this pranayama practice, you can be standing, seated, anywhere with a tall spine. And so Brahmari pranayama, also called honeybee breath, is wonderful for strengthening vagal tone. It's going to be a normal inhale through your nose. And as you exhale, you'll keep your lips closed and you'll hum. And you'll hum for as long as you can. So we'll do the first one together. Your breath may be longer or shorter than mine, and that's totally okay. So we'll exhale normally to prepare. Slowly inhale through your nose for your first buzzing honeybee breath. We'll do it again. Exhale normally to prepare. Inhale through your nose. And I'll guide you through one more. Then I'll give you a few minutes to practice this on your own. So last one we'll do together. Exhale normally. Inhale through your nose. When your exhale is complete, allow it to lead you into your next inhale and your next Brahmari. Keep going. Allow your shoulders to stay soft, the muscles of your face to be relaxed. Be here for just another minute. The next time that you exhale, allow your breathing to return back to normal. In and out through your nose. And then when you feel ready, in no rush at all, begin to blink our eyes back open if they've closed. Maybe you glance to the sides, reorienting your nervous system to the room. Awesome. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you being here. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. And if not, I'll see you in a future Embodied Fertility Awareness. I'm going to stop the recording now.